Have you ever noticed that the moment you decide you can't afford something is the exact same moment you start seeing it everywhere? That coffee, that vacation, that car. Suddenly, it's not just an object in the world. It becomes a symbol, a reminder, a little red light blinking on the dashboard of your mind, telling you that you are lacking, that you are without, that you are, in some fundamental way, less than. This feeling, this specific flavor of anxiety, has a name. It's called a scarcity mindset. And it's not just a feeling, it's a trap. A cognitive trap that reshapes how you see the world, how you make decisions, and most importantly, how you relate to money. It convinces you that you are bad with money, when in reality, you are simply operating with a broken internal compass. The needle is stuck, pointing forever to not enough. And so every financial decision you make is navigated from a place of fear. This isn't about your bank account. Not really. This is about the story you tell yourself about that bank account. And that story, more than any number, is what dictates your financial reality. Let me tell you a story about two people. They have the same job, the same salary, let's say $60,000 a year. They live in the same city, face the same cost of living. From the outside, they are financial equals, but they're not. One of them is always stressed about money. The text message alert from their bank causes a jolt of anxiety. They check their account balance compulsively, not to know, but to dread. An unexpected $100 car repair isn't an inconvenience. It's a crisis that will echo for weeks, forcing a series of painful trade-offs. Do I pay this bill late? Or do I put the grocery shopping on a credit card? Their financial life feels like a precarious game of Jenga, and every month, another block gets pulled out, the whole tower trembling, on the verge of collapse. They feel broke. They act broke. And so, they are broke. The other person, with the exact same $60,000, lives differently. Not lavishly, not without care, but with a quiet sense of security. They pay their bills on time. They have a savings account that, while not enormous, is a buffer between them and the world's surprises. That same $100 car repair is just a $100 car repair. An annoyance, sure, but not a catastrophe. They don't check their bank account with fear, but with curiosity. They are engaged with their money, not terrified of it. What is the difference? Is the second person just smarter? More disciplined? Did they read a better budgeting book? The difference is not in the numbers. The difference is in the mental software running in the background. One is running a program of scarcity. The other, whether they know it or not, is running a program of enough. See, for some people, money isn't currency, it's a scorecard. For others, it's a threat. For many, it's a mystery, a force they can't quite comprehend, like trying to hold water in their hands. It slips through their fingers no matter how hard they try, and they can't understand why. They make more money, and somehow, it still slips through. They get a raise, and for a few months, there's relief, but then the anxiety creeps back in. The leaky bucket has been replaced with a bigger leaky bucket. The problem was never the size of the bucket. It was the holes. And the holes are in the mind. Because whether we admit it or not, every financial decision we make is an emotional decision first, and a logical one second. We use the language of spreadsheets to describe something that is much closer to a heartbeat. We talk about income and expenses when we should be talking about fear and security, about status and self-worth, about freedom and constraint. Your last major purchase. Why did you really make it? Was it purely functional? Or was there a whisper, a quiet voice, that said this will make you feel a certain way? Respected, successful, relieved, happy. Maybe that's what happened when you bought the car that was just a little too expensive, or the phone that was the newest model when the old one worked fine. You weren't just buying a thing. You were buying an emotion. You were trying to fill a hole that wasn't financial. Behavioral economists have found something fascinating about how we think under pressure. When we feel we lack something crucial, time, money, food, our focus narrows. Intensely. It's called tunneling. We focus all our cognitive resources on that immediate lack. The bill that's due tomorrow, the empty fridge, the looming deadline. This is a brilliant survival mechanism for short-term, life or death crises. But when it becomes the default setting for your financial life, it's a catastrophe. Because this tunnel vision comes at a huge cost. We lose what they call our bandwidth, our mental capacity for planning, for problem solving, for impulse control, for everything that actually leads to long-term stability. The scarcity mindset, the feeling of being broke, actually makes you dumber about money. It hijacks the very mental resources you need to escape it. Think about that for a moment. The feeling of not having enough money literally makes it harder for you to make good decisions with the money you do have. It's a vicious, self-perpetuating loop. You feel poor, so you panic. When you panic, you can only see the immediate fire that needs putting out. You can't see the fire hazards you're creating for next month. So you put the $100 repair on a credit card. The interest piles up. Now you have a $110 problem next month. The feeling of scarcity intensifies. The tunnel narrows further. Your bandwidth shrinks. You're more stressed, more anxious. You see a sale, and you buy something you don't need because the discount feels like found money, a tiny island of relief in a sea of anxiety. But it's a mirage, and the cycle continues. You're not bad with money. You are trapped in a cognitive loop that is designed to keep you stuck. This is the broke mindset lie. The lie is that your circumstances are creating your feelings. The truth is that your feelings are creating your circumstances. Let's go deeper. Let's unpack this layer by layer. Let's look at what this actually looks like in the wild, in the daily financial decisions that seem so small, so insignificant, but that collectively build the cage. The first layer is the psychology of panic. Panic-driven choices versus calm strategy. What does a panic-driven choice look like? It's the late-night online shopping spree after a terrible, stressful day. It's the I deserve this purchase that far exceeds what you can actually afford to give yourself. It's ignoring your bank account for weeks because you're too afraid to look and then being shocked when you're hit with an overdraft fee. That overdraft fee isn't carelessness. It's emotional avoidance. It's the financial equivalent of putting your hands over your ears and humming loudly. You're trying to block out the noise of your own anxiety. But the bill collector doesn't care that you're humming. A calm strategic choice looks different. It's slower. It's intentional. It might involve waiting. It definitely involves asking a simple, powerful question. Is this moving me closer to where I want to be or further away? The person operating from strategy sees a bonus or a tax return and thinks, what is the most powerful use for this money? They might pay down debt. They might bolster their savings. They might invest a portion. The person operating from panic sees the same windfall and thinks, finally, I can breathe. I can get the thing I've been depriving myself of. They are buying relief. Temporary, fleeting emotional relief. The strategist is buying future security. The panicker is solving for today's emotion. The strategist is solving for tomorrow's reality. This leads us to the second layer, the concept of mental accounting. This is a fascinating quirk of how our brains are wired. We put money into different mental buckets. Even though a dollar is a dollar is a dollar. $100 you win in a bet is not the same, psychologically, as $100 you earn from hard work. The first is found money, and is often treated as if it's less valuable, more disposable. It's burned through quickly, on treats and luxuries. The second is real money, and is treated with more care. The scarcity mindset takes this normal tendency and twists it into something destructive. It creates a mental accounting system where every dollar is already spoken for, already owed, already insufficient. There is no found money. There is only not enough money. This mindset can't see opportunity because it's too busy calculating obligation. A strategically minded person might get a $20 gift card and think, great, I can use this for groceries this week and free up 20 cash dollars to put toward my debt. The scarcity-minded person thinks, I can finally get that fancy takeout I've been wanting. One choice builds a bridge. The other burns it for a single warm meal. The third layer is about time. The scarcity mindset lives in the eternal, frantic present. It cannot conceive of next year or even next month because the problem of right now is too overwhelming. This is why long-term planning feels impossible, even laughable, when you're in this state. A retirement account? That's a fantasy for rich people. A 6-month emergency fund? You can't even imagine a 6-day emergency fund. The future is a vague, threatening blur. So you make decisions that are optimal for right now, this very minute, but are disastrous for the future you. You take the high-interest payday loan because it solves today's problem, even though you know it will create a much bigger problem next week. You skip the dentist to save $80 today, incurring a $1,000 root canal 6 months from now. The scarcity mindset creates a time horizon that is so short, it's practically suicidal, financially speaking. It trades your future security for present tense relief. And the fourth layer, perhaps the most insidious, is identity. This is where the story you tell yourself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start to say things like, I'm just bad with money. Money just slips through my fingers. I'll always be broke. You wear your financial anxiety as part of your identity. It becomes a core personality trait. Oh, that's just me. I'm terrible with numbers. This is a protective mechanism. If it's just who you are, then you're not responsible. You're off the hook. You can't fight your nature, right? But this identity lock-in is a prison. It prevents change, because to change your behavior would be to betray your own self-concept. It would create what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. So you unconsciously make choices that reinforce the identity. You avoid learning about money. You make impulsive purchases. You ignore your finances, because that's what someone who is bad with money does. The identity of being broke becomes more comfortable than the terrifying uncertainty of trying not to be. Let's look at some specific scenarios, these recognizable financial moments that happen to all of us, and see the two mindsets at play. Scenario: a raise at work, a $5,000 a year increase. The scarcity mindset: finally, I can stop struggling so much. The extra $100 or so per paycheck gets absorbed immediately into the baseline. Lifestyle inflation happens invisibly, automatically. Maybe you eat out a little more often. Maybe you subscribe to another streaming service. Maybe you just stop worrying so much about the grocery bill. Within 3 months, the raise is gone. It has been completely digested by the old patterns. The financial pressure returns. The feeling of scarcity remains. The raise didn't change the mindset, so the mindset consumed the raise. The strategic mindset: this is an opportunity to create more distance between me and financial stress. They enact the out of sight, out of mind principle. They automatically divert the entire extra amount, or at least a significant majority of it, into a savings account or debt payment before they even get used to having it. They change nothing about their day-to-day life. They are not spending the raise. They are investing it in their future peace of mind. The money goes to work building a moat, not buying a slightly more comfortable cage. Scenario: an unexpected bill, a $300 vet bill. The scarcity mindset: panic, dread. The world shrinks to this one problem. How am I going to pay this? The options feel limited and painful. Put on a credit card and deal with the interest. Pay it and skip the electric bill, incurring a late fee. Borrow from a friend or family member, incurring shame. The entire process is emotionally draining. It feels like a personal failure. The problem isn't just the bill. The problem is what the bill means about you and your life. The strategic mindset: annoyance. Well, that's unfortunate. They transfer the money from their emergency fund savings account, a bucket of money they've built for exactly this purpose. They pay the bill. They move on with their day. The emotional and cognitive cost is near zero. The bill was a logistical problem, not an existential crisis. Scenario: a friend's birthday dinner at a nice restaurant. The scarcity mindset: you want to go, but you're anxious about the cost. You might go anyway, order the cheapest thing on the menu, and feel a knot in your stomach the entire time, unable to enjoy the company. Or you might make an excuse and not go, sacrificing social connection to save money, which reinforces the feeling of isolation and deprivation. Either way, you lose. You either lose money or you lose a piece of your social life. The experience is tainted. The strategic mindset: you look at your discretionary spending for the month. You see if you can afford it. If you can, you go and you enjoy it fully, without guilt, because you know it's accounted for. If you can't, you suggest a more affordable alternative to your friend, like meeting for coffee instead. There is no shame, because your financial reality is not a moral failing. It's just a data point. You protect your social connection without breaking your financial plan. Do you see the pattern? It's not about the amount of money. It's about the relationship to the money. It's about the story. The scarcity mindset tells a story of constant threat and deprivation. The strategic mindset tells a story of agency and managed resources. But here's what's even more interesting. The scarcity mindset isn't only for people with low incomes. This is a critical point. You can see this same pattern in people who make $200,000 a year. The income is higher, but the mental software is the same. The expenses just scale up. The panic is about the private school tuition and the country club membership and the second mortgage. The tunnel vision is on maintaining a lifestyle rather than obtaining one. The feeling is the same. The relentless, gnawing anxiety of not enough. They're just playing the same game on a more expensive board. And conversely, you can find people with very modest incomes who have a profound sense of financial peace. They're not wealthy, but they're not plagued by scarcity. They have a mindset of enough. They are intentional, strategic, and calm. Their financial life is not a source of terror, but of quiet competence. So, if this is the trap, what is the key? How do you break the scarcity spell? It's not about making more money. We've already established that doesn't work if the mindset remains unchanged. The solution is to change the software, to reboot the operating system. And that begins with one simple, profound, and incredibly difficult practice: awareness. You cannot change what you do not see. You cannot fix a leak you refuse to acknowledge. The first and most important step is to simply bring this pattern into the light. To see the scarcity loop for what it is: a cognitive bias, a trick of the mind, not an objective reflection of your financial reality. The moment you name it, you begin to separate from it. You are not your scarcity mindset. You are the one observing it. And that tiny sliver of space, that gap between you and the panic, is where your power lies. This is where we get to the simple practice, the 5-minute exercise to break the scarcity spell. It's not a budgeting tool. It's not a savings plan. Those come later. This is more fundamental. This is mental hygiene. I want you to do this every day for 1 week. Just 1 week. It requires a notepad or the Notes app on your phone and 5 minutes of quiet. Step 1. Acknowledge the feeling. For 2 minutes, sit quietly and just notice how you feel about money right now. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Just observe. Is there a knot in your stomach? A tightness in your chest? A background hum of anxiety? Just name it. I feel anxious about the credit card bill. I feel dread about rent being due. I feel deprived because I want that new jacket. Write the feeling down. Be specific. This is not about the numbers. It's about the emotion. You are draining the emotional charge from the topic of money by simply acknowledging it, without drama, without panic. Step 2. State the facts. For 2 minutes, write down the basic, objective financial facts of your immediate situation. Not the fears, not the projections, just the facts. I have X dollars in my checking account. My next paycheck arrives on Friday. I have Y dollars in essential bills due before then. I have Z dollars in my savings account. This is a reality check. The scarcity mindset thrives on vague, overwhelming dread. It cannot survive precise, clear data. You are forcing your brain out of the emotional amygdala and into the logical prefrontal cortex. You are grounding yourself. Step 3. One small action. For 1 minute, decide on one tiny, almost insignificant action you can take today that moves you 1 millimeter toward calm and control. This is not about solving your entire financial life. This is about building a new muscle of agency. The action must be small and easily achievable. I will pack a lunch instead of buying it. I will cancel that one subscription I never use. I will transfer $10 to my savings account. I will read one article about basic investing. The action is almost irrelevant. The decision is everything. You are proving to yourself, through a tiny, concrete act, that you are not powerless. You are the one in the driver's seat. You are breaking the paralysis of panic with a single, deliberate movement. That's it. 5 minutes. Acknowledge the feeling. State the facts. Take one small action. This practice does not magically create money in your account. What it does is far more powerful. It rewires your relationship with the money that is already there. It breaks the panic attack response. It widens the tunnel. It gives you back your bandwidth. When you do this daily, you start to notice the scarcity triggers. You see the advertisement that makes you feel inadequate. You notice the internal voice that says, "I deserve this," as you're about to make an impulsive purchase. You become aware of the physical sensation of financial anxiety. And in that awareness, you have a choice. You are no longer on autopilot, flying the plane straight into the mountain. You have taken the controls. This is the financial mindset shift. It's not a sudden windfall. It's a quiet revolution from the inside out. The power comes from understanding that your financial reality is not a fixed state. It is a dynamic, living thing, shaped by hundreds of small decisions every month. And those decisions are shaped by your mindset. When you change the mindset, the decisions begin to change naturally, almost automatically. You start to see savings not as deprivation, but as freedom. You see a budget not as a prison, but as a map. You see an investment not as a risk, but as a seed. The same actions that once felt like burdens become sources of quiet confidence. The peace that comes from this is profound. It's the peace of knowing that you can handle what comes. It's the peace of looking at your bank account without flinching. It's the peace of making a conscious choice to not buy something, not because you can't afford it, but because it doesn't align with the life you are intentionally building. That is a feeling of power that no amount of impulsive spending can ever provide. This is the essence of the shift. From being a passive victim of your finances to being an active architect of your financial life. You stop telling yourself the broke mindset lie. You stop identifying as someone who is bad with money. You start seeing yourself as someone who is learning, who is growing, who is building a new skill set. The language changes. "I am bad with money" becomes, "I am learning to be better with money." "I'll always be broke" becomes, "My current situation is temporary, and I am taking steps to change it." This isn't just positive thinking. This is cognitive restructuring. You're literally building new neural pathways. So, let's return to where we began. The feeling you get when you see something you want but feel you can't have. That symbol of lack. What if you could see that same object, that same vacation, that same car, and feel nothing? Or feel simple, neutral desire, without the accompanying pang of anxiety and deprivation? What if your financial life could be a source of quiet competence instead of constant background noise? This is possible. It is available to you right now. It doesn't require a single extra dollar. It requires a new perspective. It requires you to call the lie by its name. The lie is scarcity. The truth is that you have agency. You have the power to observe your patterns, to question your impulses, to ground yourself in facts, and to take one small, deliberate step toward the life you want. The journey 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The journey to financial peace begins with a single, 5-minute practice. It begins by looking the monster in the eye and realizing it was only a shadow all along. The shadow of a story you no longer have to tell. Broke is a temporary situation. Poor is a state of mind. And your mind is the one thing you have absolute authority over. You can change it starting today. You can change it starting right now. All you have to do is notice.